Yo guys, what is going on? Blossom is back and welcome back to another episode of Garage Review. Today we're going to be reviewing Eric's Garage, not to be confused with Erthic, but I do have another patron called Eric ending in a K. You might have heard me announce his name a couple times in my streams before. Well, today we're going to be reviewing his garage. Let's see all the ins and outs, and I have to say, I am quite impressed with what I'm seeing over here. So, starting this off, we see he's RQ500. He has just about 8,000 trophies, and it looks like he has some renown points that he has to use before he gets 1,000 out of 1,000. Not a lot of cash, not a lot of gold, but let's get into it. There's going to be a trend in this garage that we'll be seeing throughout. So as you can see here, a lot of maxed out cars, and in fact, your common variety is actually quite big. Now, I do know that this is your most recent recording of the garage, so there's only one pug in there, one prize pug, but do let me know if you ended up getting all 5 pugs in the end, because you did have a pretty decent Diablo hand, and you had a really good Italian hand to follow suit. So it'll be interesting to see if you got the Vulcan or not. I feel like if you didn't get it, you would have been really close, but you would have gotten some carbon fibers on the way. So, starting this off with the comments, it was a good start, right? A lot of key comments, there was a decent variety, and all of them were maxed. That's what I like to see. I don't like to see any unfinished projects, because unfinished projects isn't going to win you anything. So, maxed or nothing, and I like to see, the maxed cars. Now, in my last garage review episode, some people were mad because they were thinking, oh, bless him, I'm not a pay to win, so I can't max everything. Hurry! I said maxed or nothing. 3-star or 0-star. Okay, there's a 0-star option in there. Anyway, moving on here with the comments, what I will have to say is that although I do see a very nice variety, the RQ15 was pretty bleak. You only had one single RQ15 car, so if you wanted to add more variety into that, my recommendations would be the RQ15, obviously, 2016 Renault Clio, because it has 71 handling. It has the most handling out of all RQ15s, besides what I think is the Austin Ambassador, but you can't get that anymore. And the second one that I would recommend is the RQ15 Cadillac Eldorado from 1979. It has 11 seconds 0 to 60, which definitely isn't too bad for an RQ15 car. Moving on to the higher end of your comments, 2 cars that I would recommend in this collection would be the RQ19 Rover 200. It's a fantastic, grippy car that handles well, standard tire, medium ground clearance car, as well as the RQ19 Nissan Almera from 1996. Same reasons as the Rover, handles great, medium ground clearance, standard tires. So, moving on to your uncommon collection, the first thing right now that we see is that we can see all your RQ20 cars in this one frame. There is one RQ20 car that you need, that you are missing, that is so vital to everybody's garage. It's a Blossom Choice car, and that is indeed the Datsun 240Z. When you max that baby out 969, it will go 124 miles per hour, 7.7 seconds 0 to 60, and 83 handling. Now, the 7.7 and the 83 handling combined together is what makes this car so special. Low ground clearance performance tires, and it's light, great all-round performance tire twisty car for RQ20. It's also one that you need because over here, as we can see, you have the Vauxhall HP, which is your medium ground clearance. You have the Alfa Romeo 2000, which is your RQ20 drag, but you don't really have an RQ20 twisty. You even have an RQ20 off-road and a couple RQ20 standard tires, but no RQ20 twisty. So that 240Z will come in handy for you. Moving on, the next thing that I want to talk about is to max out your RQ24 Opel Kadett GTE. That thing is amazing, 85 handling, super light. This is a Opel Kadett Superleggera. Medium ground clearance, 85 handling, a really good car. And of course, the last thing to look at is the RQ29 Lotus Europa 47 twin cam. That car is key, and I'm actually surprised you don't have it. You have a lot of other key cars like the Twizy, the GTX, the Eunice, the Barchetta, and of course I learned recently that this Peugeot 309 GTI is actually really good. I used to have one. I maxed it out for championships, and I sold it immediately because I hate Peugeots. But that car is actually really good, and I have to admit I do need it, but because of my stubbornness and how much I hate Peugeot, I'm probably not going to get it, but that's a good car. So, main things to take away, once again, like the comments, it's very nice. A decent variety in your uncommon hand, all of them being maxed. All you need is, the 3 recommendations that I said, and I'm surprised that you don't have the Lotus Europa. That's a car that most people have, the twin cam. It's a fantastic all-arounder. 5.80 to 60, 84 handling, and yeah, it's just a really good, really impressive uncommon collection. So moving on to rares. Now rares, only good things to say, because I have to say that rares is probably your strongest rarity in your garage. So let's have a trip down the rare lane. Nothing to say here until we get to RQ34. Much like RQ15, you only have one RQ34 car in your garage, and that is the Jaguar E-Type. Now that being said, there are actually some pretty decent RQ34 rares in the game. Two that I would recommend for you would be the Chevy Corvette 396, 996 that baby. It's a drag beast, especially if you don't have the Pontiac Firebird prize car. And the next one that I would recommend for you is the Renault Kadjar at 969. It's an all-surface tire car, front-wheel drive, but it does have over 80 handling, which is pretty good for all-surface tires. But then again, it's not even four-wheel drive. But it's still a car that has helped me out a lot. It's a really niche car for clubs. And another thing I have to say, throughout your collection, like I said, you have a lot of key cars, a lot of them max, but they all come in, they're all singular. You only have one of each, most of it, besides the Twizy. If you do play clubs, then I think you already know what the key cars are, and if you don't, you're in my Patreon server. So, the Blossom Choice cars are basically in a channel away from you. You can always check them out, get those in dupes. It will help you out in clubs if you play clubs. So, that's all I have to say for rares, though. It's a very impressive rare garage, and I feel like when it comes to rares, and I say this a lot in my garage review episodes, a lot of people know their rares. A lot of people have a lot of key rares. I don't really need to find myself recommending a lot of rares to people, because for some reason everybody knows what are the rares to get. I was like trying to compare your rare garage to my own to see if you were missing anything that you really needed, and there wasn't really anything I could find. So moving on to super rares. Now the first thing you want to max out is this Alfa Romeo Giulia TZ. Amazing car. Hits about 86 handling if I remember correctly, 4.90 to 60 maybe even. It's a really good car. Like, I love that thing. It's super light as well. It's a super leggera. The next thing that I would really recommend maxing out would be indeed the Chevrolet K5 Blazer 5.7 liter. Amazing little machine that it beats all the low RQ Ram Chargers, and in my opinion is the best low RQ off-roader in the game. But with that said, much like the rares, it was a really good collection. A lot of them maxed. It definitely knows that your slot economy is going pretty well as well, because you max out cars really fast. So there's not a lot of lingering fuse material lying around, which is something that I had to encounter back in the day when I didn't pay to win as much, and when my garage was really small, especially when I was starting out. I also did the same kind of strategy. I would not leave a lot of fuse leaving around, and I'll make sure that everything is maxed, everything is nice. All my cars in my garage are 3 stars. It looks good, makes me happy. So moving on to ultra rares now, we're just gonna have a look. So we're gonna turn the speed down to normal, and we're just gonna have a look at your ultra rare collection while I name off everything that you need to fuse. Now, in my recommendations, the cars that you need to fuse would be the Renault Sport Clio RS16, the Di Tommaso Pantera. Now you have 2 Renault Clio R16s, so I would fuse one. The BMW X5 PHEV, the Porsche 911 Carrera, the Porsche Boxer, and the Mercedes AMG C55. Once again, I'm sending these notes to your DMs, so if I'm moving too quickly for you, don't worry about it. You got the pictures. Cars that I would definitely max out here would be the Chevy Camaro Convertible 699, Porsche 911 Carrera 2004 699, and the BMW M6 Convertible 699. I know you have one max out already, but this is a key car. I love it so much. It's amazing. Honestly, you can even justify 996ing this baby because it has like 90 MRA or 92 MRA, which is about the same as the green Hellcat. So the M6 Convertible's a really great car to have in your garage. Anyway, that's about 6 fuse material ultra rares and 3 to max for the ultra rares. So there's not really going to be an epic that you can max out right now, but that's fine, because looking and judging by how you play, you're just putting ultras in when you have the chance. So I'm not too much to say about that. So moving on to epics now, really only one epic for you to max, which is the RQ79 KTM Expo RR. Now you got a lot of fuse though, and this is the part where it kind of makes me annoyed a little bit, because once again, a lot of 1-star epics, and you know how I feel about that. 1-star epics are a big no-no. I know the last episode, some people were mad because they're like, once again, 1-star epics, is the best we can do. Sometimes it might win us a Tri-Series prize car. Listen, man, a 1-star epic is never gonna win you a Tri-Series prize car. I've been in so many finals, I can tell you that with full confidence. It ain't gonna win you that unless you're like RQ320 or something like that. It ain't gonna win you that, man. It's maxed or nothing when it comes to epics. Only legendaries can you 1-star and get by. When it comes to epics, it's still max or nothing. So it's kind of sad to see so many 1-star cars. These are the epics that I would fuse in your garage: the RQ67 Jag, the 68 Volvo S60, the 68 Maserati Gran Turismo, 68 Ford Mustang Power Pack, which I feel like a lot of people have, and I don't know why. It's not a good car, and I love American cars, and I'm telling you that. Porsche Boxer GTS, Roof RCT, one out of your 2 Lamborghini Diablos, and all of them are 1-starred already, and these are 7 cars that I would fuse 100%. So when you think about it, you just lost 140k maxing out 1-star epics that are not going to win you anything. Hopefully you learn from this, though. Hopefully you won't 1-star. I think you have learned from this, because when we look at some of these other cars, like the Diablo SE, is 0 stars. One of your Diablo is 0 stars. Your Aston Martin Vanquish, Volante, 0 stars. These are what I think are your newer epics, and this is where you found out, oh, you know what, 1 star in them isn't going to win me much. So, but I have to say though, that Aston Martin that you have stock is actually pretty good. Moving on to your legendaries, once again, I was really surprised to see that you have almost 2 maxed out legendaries. You do have 2, but the other one is the BMW that used to be epic. But I was really impressed to see the maxed out Lamborghini Aventador SV Roadster. That thing is insane, and I'm actually surprised that you managed to max out a legendary. I wonder what cars you put into that. Probably the campaign Subaru, which is the way to go, bro, so don't worry about it. I condone it. But yeah, it's a fantastic machine. 2.40 to 60, 99 handling, by far your second best car or your third best car in your garage. What I think is the best car in your garage is either going to be the Huayra Roadster or the 917, which are my next 2 recommendations for your legendaries. You do have 7 fuse epics in my list. That should be enough to finish off your Pagani Huayra Roadster. That gives you 2 maxed out convertible Italian cars, making you specialize in Italian cars and Italian convertibles, or just convertibles in general. That would make your convertible / Italian hand really strong. So definitely look into that. And after you're done with the Huayra Roadster and the Aventador SV, I would think about the Porsche 917. It's a really great car, amazing MRA, so if you want to max it out, by all means. Or wait for a car that you need for a tri-series. But once again, your Italian hand is strong, man. And, 4 Lamborghini Legendaries, which is, really impressive, to be honest, with the Gallardo, the Murcielago. Oh, sorry, not 4, 3. Gallardo, Murcielago, and the Aventador. But once again, Italian-wise, that's 4 right there in one screen. So, definitely a really good garage. I like what I see, man. I like what I see. It's a very organized garage. Once again, 435 cars, 18 legendaries, 49 epics, 65 ultras, 77 super, 71 rare, 66 uncommons, and 89 commons. It's a good garage. It's a good garage. It's very organized. That's what I like to see. The only thing that really sets it apart would be the 1-star epics. And I'm not going to harp you, I'm not going to harp anybody on if you're missing out ultra rares, like key ultra rares like Timoras or Colorados or anything like that, because getting key ultra rares is literally down to chance. It's literally down to luck. So I totally get it. Anyway, with that said, that is going to be the video of Garage Review for today. Eric, thank you so much for waiting, and thank you so much for sending in your garage. It's a nice one, and I really do approve of it. But with that said, I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you all next time. Remember to stay safe, wash your hands, blossom out.